Hello there, this is Kate Johnson at Petros Family Wealth coming at you with a structured note video where you had an investment in a growth oriented note that got called and is paying out a 73.37% total return over a 3-year time frame. I'm going to go over all the details here. We appreciate your trust in us in these types of notes. And the goal of this video is to give you a little bit more clarity as to what's happening underneath the hood. So this note was growth oriented, like I said, issued by JP Morgan, the bank. So we're taking on a little bit of credit risk and need to trust JP Morgan, make sure that they're not going to default as we lend them money over the life of this note. It was linked to the S&P 500 index and the mid-cap or mid-size company index for American stocks. This traded on May 30th of 2023. And at the end of 3 years, we want to pay attention to the lower performer of these two indexes. And whichever one that is, at the end of 3 years, assuming it is positive, you're going to receive 1.4 times the return of the lowest performing index. So what happened was, over the life of this note, you can see the 3-year time frame here, and at the end, the worst performer was the mid-cap index, up 52%. And so at maturity, you're going to receive that 52% times 1.4, which equates to that 73.37% return over 3 years. In simple terms, that's a 24.45% annualized simple return there. And then one other feature of this note was downside protection that didn't apply in this instance, but in a worst case scenario, if the S&P 500 was down 15% at maturity, we have a 10% hard buffer protection, meaning any negative performance is automatically buffered by 10% or added back. So if we were down 15% over 3 years, you would actually only be down 5%. Consequently, if you were down 30%, you'd only be down 20%. If you were down 5%, you would get your money back. So you caps back out at zero or flat return per se. And then obviously positive returns, you get that 1.4% upside. So yeah, this was a pretty simple note here, getting that about 24.5% annualized return over this 3-year period. We find that to be a pretty solid return for an investment that also gives you a little bit of downside protection. But thank you for watching. If you have any other questions about these types of notes, feel free to reach out to your advisor. Otherwise, thanks again and have a great day.